Representative Yoon Suk Choi's footsteps echoed through the massive chamber of the Galactic Council. The room was round and tall, with seats rising up like stairs in a giant circle. Beings from 100 different worlds sat watching him. Some looked almost human, while others were as different as clouds are from rocks. Yoon Suk straightened his blue diplomatic uniform and touched the golden earth pin on his chest for luck. This was humanity's first time speaking to the Council since Earth joined the galactic community 3 months ago. His throat felt dry. Earth's representative, a voice boomed from above, stepped forward to the speaking circle. The floor beneath his feet lit up with a soft white glow as he walked to the center. Looking up, he could see the Council's 5 leaders sitting in their high seats. They looked down at him through eyes of different colors, shapes, and sizes. Honorable Council, Yoon Suk began. Earth thanks you for. Save your thanks, the tallest leader cut in. Her skin shimmered like metal in starlight. We have only one demand for Earth. One rule you must never break. Yoon Suk blinked in surprise. This wasn't how these meetings usually went. I'm listening, honored one. Your children, she said, each word sharp and clear. Protect them. Hide them if you must, but keep them safe at all costs. Whispers filled the chamber. Yoon Suk noticed some council members shifting uncomfortably in their seats. Others looked away, as if ashamed. I don't understand, he said. Are our children in danger? A different leader spoke up, this one shaped like a tall pillar of crystal. We give this warning to all new worlds. Some listen, some do not. Light pulsed through the crystal as it spoke. Those who do not listen, they lose everything. Yoon Suk felt cold despite the warm air. Can you tell us what threatens them? How can we prepare? We have said enough, the metal-skinned leader declared. Earth knows our demand. This meeting is finished. Wait, Yoon Suk called out. Please, we need more information. How can we protect them if we don't know what's coming? The leaders stayed silent, but in the middle rows, a council member stood up. The being looked almost like a tall human woman, except her skin was deep purple and her hair moved like underwater plants. Young one, she said softly, go home. Build walls around your schools. Put guards on your hospitals. Watch the skies. Her voice shook slightly. And pray you never learn why we give this warning. The chamber's lights dimmed, marking the end of the meeting. As Yoon Suk walked out, he passed 2 council members talking in low voices. Another world to watch die, one whispered. Unless they're stronger than the others, the second replied. Back on his ship, Yoon Suk wrote his report for Earth's leaders. His hands trembled as he typed. At the end, he added a personal note. Something hunts children among the stars. The council knows what it is, but they won't or can't stop it. They've watched other worlds fall, but they don't know Earth. They don't know humans. And if anything tries to harm our children, they'll learn why our history is full of stories about heroes who fought monsters. He sent the report, then sat in the dark, watching Earth grow larger in his view screen as the ship headed home. Behind him, the stars seemed to whisper ancient secrets about pain, loss, and the price of looking away when evil shows its face. The warning had been given. Now the clock was ticking. Dr. Hae-Yun Kim stared at her computer screen, rubbing her tired eyes. The clock on the wall showed 3:30 a.m., but she couldn't sleep. Not with these readings in front of her. Run the scan again, she told her computer. In the quiet lab, surrounded by brain-scanning equipment, she watched as new data appeared on her screen. The patterns were the same. All across Seoul, Tokyo, New York, and London, children's brainwaves were changing. The changes were small, like ripples in a pond, but they were real. And they had started exactly 1 week ago. Her phone rang, making her jump. The caller ID showed Admiral Park. Dr. Kim speaking, she answered. Hae-Yun. Admiral Do-Hyun Park's voice was tense. Turn on your TV, any channel. She grabbed the remote and clicked on the TV mounted on her lab wall. Her mouth fell open. The news showed massive ships hanging in the sky above Earth's biggest cities. They looked like giant silver leaves falling from space, catching the morning sunlight. The ships were beautiful, but something about them made her skin crawl. "How many?" she asked. 50 ships so far," Admiral Park replied. "They're not doing anything. Just watching." Hei-yun looked back at her computer screen, at the changed brain wave patterns. "They arrived a week ago," she said. "We just couldn't see them until now." "What do you mean?" "The children, Do-hyun. Their brains have been reacting to something for the past week. They knew the ships were there before our instruments could detect them." There was silence on the phone. Then Admiral Park spoke quietly. "The Council's warning. It's happening, isn't it?" Before Hei-yun could answer, her screen lit up with a message. The same message was appearing on every TV, phone, and computer screen around the world. "People of Earth, do not be afraid. We are the Research Collective. We come to study the unique neural patterns of your young ones. Their minds are special in all the galaxy. We wish to learn. We wish to understand. We come in peace." Hei-yun's hands shook as she read the message. "They're lying," she whispered. "How can you be sure?" Admiral Park asked. "Because the children's brain patterns, they're not just changing. They're trying to hide. Their minds are instinctively protecting themselves, like animals hiding from a predator." She took a deep breath. "The children are afraid, Do-hyun. And children can often sense danger before adults do." In the sky above her lab, one of the silver ships moved lower, hovering over Seoul's largest elementary school. Its shadow fell across the playground like a giant hand reaching for something precious. Admiral Park's voice hardened. "I'm calling an emergency meeting. The Council warned us to protect our children. Starting now, that's humanity's only job." As Hei-yun gathered her research to show the military leaders, a small girl in an apartment building across the street woke up screaming. Her mother tried to comfort her, but the girl wouldn't stop crying. "The hungry ones are here," the girl sobbed. "The ones that eat dreams." The silver ships continued their silent watch, waiting for the right moment to show their true purpose. Humanity had 6 hours of peace left before the first child disappeared. Captain Taiwan Lee crouched in the shadows of Seoul Children's Hospital, watching the security cameras through his tablet. His team was spread across all 12 floors, dressed as doctors and nurses. They had been waiting for 3 hours. Movement on the roof, his radio crackled softly. "Something's appearing out of thin air." Taiwan switched to the roof camera. The air shimmed like heat waves over hot pavement. Then a figure stepped out of nothing. It was tall and thin, wearing what looked like silver armor. Its head was smooth like polished metal, with no face except for glowing blue lines where eyes should be. "Hold positions," Taiwan whispered into his radio. "Let's see what they're really here for." The alien walked to the roof access door, touched it with a long finger, and the lock clicked open. 2 more aliens appeared behind it, carrying something that looked like clear glass boxes. On the 5th floor, Dr. Hei-yun Kim sat next to a sleeping child's bed, pretending to check medical charts. Her real job was to monitor the brainwave reader hidden in her medical tablet. The sleeping boy's mind was active, trying to hide itself. "They're heading down." Taiwan's voice came through her hidden earpiece. "5th floor. Your way, doctor." Hei-yun's hands tightened on her tablet. They had lost 30 children in the past week. Not today. Not again. The door to the children's ward opened silently. The 3 aliens glided in, moving between the beds like silver shadows. They stopped at the bed next to Hei-yun. "Perfect neural patterns," one of them whispered. Its voice sounded like wind chimes, beautiful but empty. "This one will feed us for months." Hei-yun's blood ran cold. "Feed us." The alien reached for the sleeping child with its long fingers. The clear box in its other hand began to glow. "Now," Taiwan's voice commanded. Lights blazed on. Soldiers appeared from behind curtains and under beds, weapons raised. The aliens froze. "Step away from the children," Tai-1 ordered, stepping through the door with his gun aimed at the nearest alien. The alien's blue eye lines curved upward, like a cruel smile. "Foolish humans. We are researchers. We mean no harm. Researchers don't talk about feeding on children." Hei-yun stood up, her fear turning to anger. "We recorded everything you just said." The alien's head snapped toward her. "Then you know too much." Everything happened at once. The alien's silver armor split open like flowers made of knives. Tai-1's team opened fire, but the bullets bounced off some kind of shield. The aliens rushed toward the windows. "Stop them," Tai-1 shouted. "Don't let them signal their ships." But the aliens had already crashed through the windows. They fell 5 stories, landed like cats, and vanished into their invisible field. Hei-yun ran to check on the children. They were all awake now, but instead of being scared, they looked angry. "The hungry ones tried again," a little girl said, her small hands curled into fists. "But you stopped them. What do they want?" Hei-yun asked gently. "Why are they really here?" The girl's eyes were old and wise. "They eat dreams and memories and hope. They want us because Earth's children dream bigger than any others in the galaxy. But our dreams are poison to them. They just don't know it yet." Tai-1 walked over, his face grim. "We need to tell Admiral Park. The research collective isn't here to study our children." "No," Hei-yun agreed, watching the silver ships shimmer in the morning sky. "They're here to harvest them." Yoon-suk Choi ran through the shining hallways of the Galactic Council station. His normally neat diplomatic uniform was wrinkled, and dark circles showed under his eyes. He hadn't slept since receiving the emergency message from Earth. Behind him, floating screens showed news from Earth, children vanishing from their beds, silver ships hanging over cities, parents crying in the streets, 153 children gone in 2 weeks. The council chamber doors opened for him. This time, he didn't wait to be called to the speaking circle. "They're taking our children," he shouted. His voice echoed off the high ceiling. "The research collective is stealing them. And you knew. You knew all along." The chamber erupted in angry shouts and whispers. The 5 leaders sat in their high seats, watching silently. "How dare you burst in here?" one council member began. "We have proof." Yoon-suk cut him off. He pressed a button on his wrist device. The chamber filled with a recording from the hospital incident. The alien's words played clearly. "This one will feed us for months." The council fell silent. Many members looked away in shame. But others showed no surprise at all. The metal-skinned leader finally spoke. "What would you have us do, Earthchild? The harvesters are too powerful. Too established." "Established?" Yoon-suk's voice shook with anger. "What does that mean?" A small bird-like council member stood up. "It means some of us have an arrangement with them. They leave our worlds alone, and in return, you tell them which new worlds to target." Yoon-suk finished, his hands curled into fists. "You warned us about them, then sold us out." "You don't understand." The purple-skinned council member who had warned him before spoke up. "They destroyed my world when we fought back. 3 billion dead in 1 day. So you gave them someone else's children instead." Yoon-suk's voice was ice cold. His wrist device beeped. A message from Admiral Park appeared. "Council help needed or not, we're activating Protocol Guardian. Earth stands alone." Yoon-suk looked up at the council, at the faces of those who had betrayed Earth and those too afraid to help. He thought of the parents back home, waiting for children who might never return. "You told us to protect our children," he said quietly. "You should have told us to protect them from you." He turned to leave, but the metal-skinned leader called out, "If you fight them, your world will burn." Yoon-suk stopped at the door. "Maybe," he answered. "But there's something you and the harvesters don't understand about humans. We have stories, ancient stories, about what happens to monsters who steal children. None of those stories end well for the monsters. He walked out of the chamber, already sending a message back to Earth. We're on our own. Activate everything. In orbit around Earth, Admiral Park received the message. He looked at the display showing the growing fleet of harvester ships, then at the photo of his daughter on his desk. She was safe in one of the new underground shelters, but so many others weren't. Send the order, he commanded. Protocol Guardian begins now. And may God help any alien who tries to take another child from Earth. Protocol Guardian changed Earth in a single day. Schools moved underground into bunkers built since the Council's first warning. Hospitals became fortresses. Armed guards watched over playgrounds hidden under energy shields that glowed like soft blue umbrellas in the sky. In her new laboratory deep beneath Seoul, Dr. Hae-Yun Kim worked without stopping. Screens covered her walls, showing children's brain patterns from around the world. She hadn't slept in 2 days, but she couldn't stop. Not when she was so close to understanding. A soft knock made her look up. A small girl stood in her doorway, wearing a white hospital gown. She had short black hair and bright, serious eyes. "You're thinking too hard," the girl said. "That's why you can't see it." Hae-Yun checked her clipboard. "You must be Jaya Song. They told me you were special." Jaya walked into the lab, looking at the brainwave patterns on the screens. "The hungry ones can't see us when we dream. That's why they have to come close to catch us. But when we dream together," she touched one of the screens, and all the patterns suddenly shifted. Hae-Yun's eyes widened. "That's impossible. You're connecting with the other children somehow." Above ground, Captain Ta-Won Lee's team was about to discover exactly what Jia meant. They were raiding a harvester ship that had landed in an empty field, trying to rescue the children inside. "Contact." His radio crackled. "They got some kind of energy weapons. We can't get through their shields." Ta-Won pressed against the ship's silver wall, bullets bouncing off energy barriers around him. This mission was failing. They were going to lose more children. Then he heard singing. The sound came from their rescue vehicle. The children they had already saved were singing together, a simple lullaby that every Korean child knew. The song floated across the battlefield like a gentle wave. The harvesters screamed. Their shields flickered and died. Their weapons sparked and went dark. "Now," Ta-Won shouted. His team rushed forward, breaking through the ship's defenses. Inside, they found more children in glass containers, all alive, all waiting to be saved. Back in her lab, Hae-Yun watched Jia closely. The girl's eyes were closed, and she was humming the same lullaby. "You're helping them, aren't you?" Hae-Yun asked softly. "All of you together." Jia opened her eyes. "The hungry ones eat dreams, but they don't understand them. When we dream together, we're stronger than their machines, stronger than their hunger." Admiral Park's voice came through Hae-Yun's computer. "Doctor, are you seeing this? Something's happening to the harvester ships worldwide. Their systems are failing." Hae-Yun looked at her screens. Children in shelters around the world were singing, dreaming, coming together in ways the aliens couldn't understand. "The children are protecting themselves," she replied. "No, they're protecting each other. Jia showed them how." Jia smiled, but her eyes were tired. "We can't stop them forever. But we can teach others. We can show Earth how to fight back." Hae-Yun touched her screen, watching the patterns of thousands of children's minds glowing like stars. Earth's children were connected now, sharing their strength, their dreams, their power. The harvesters had made a terrible mistake. They had hunted Earth's children, but they had never asked why humans told so many stories about magic, about dreams, about the special power of a child's imagination. They were about to learn. Dr. Hae-Yun Kim sat with Jia in the laboratory's quiet corner, watching the young girl draw pictures. Each drawing showed the same thing: dark shapes trying to catch colorful lights that looked like stars. "That's how I see them in my dreams," Jia explained, pointing to the dark shapes. "The hungry ones. They chase the lights because the lights are warm and bright. but Earth's lights are different. Hei-yun spread out the brain scans she had collected. Can you tell me why we're different, Jia? Why do the harvesters want Earth's children so badly? Jia picked up a blue crayon and started drawing again. Other children in the galaxy dreamed small dreams, safe dreams. Their parents taught them to be careful because of the hungry ones. She drew a small blue circle. Their dreams are like quiet pools of water. Then she picked up a red crayon and drew a burst of color that filled the whole page. But Earth never knew about the hungry ones. No one told us to dream small dreams. So we dream about flying to the stars, becoming heroes, saving whole worlds. She smiled. Our dreams are like fireworks. In that moment, Hei-yun understood. She rushed to her computer and called Admiral Park and Captain Lee for an emergency meeting. Minutes later, their faces appeared on her screen. She held up Jaya's drawings. The harvesters feed on neural energy. The power of thoughts and dreams, she explained. For centuries, they've been taking children from other worlds. Those children's minds were like small cups of water. Easy to drink, safe. But Earth's children are different, Admiral Park said slowly. Yes. Hei-yun showed them her brain scans. Our children's neural energy is much stronger. They dream without limits, imagine without fears. Their minds aren't cups of water. They're oceans in a storm. Captain Lee leaned forward. Is that why the children's songs hurt the harvesters? Their minds are too powerful. More than that, Jaya spoke up. Everyone turned to look at her. When they try to drink her dreams, it's like trying to drink lightning. It burns them from inside. Hei-yun nodded excitedly. That's why they need the glass containers, the processing machines. They're trying to weaken the energy, make it safe to consume. But it's not working. Every child they've taken is fighting back, even inside those containers. Admiral Park's face grew serious. So if we could free all the captured children at once, their combined neural energy would overwhelm the harvester's systems, Hei-yun finished. Like a power surge burning out a computer. We need more rescue missions, Captain Lee said. We have to get those children back. Jaya stood up and walked to the screen. Her small face was determined. We'll help. All of us. Every child on Earth is dreaming now, dreaming of saving our friends. And when Earth's children dream together, the hungry ones don't stand a chance. Hei-yun whispered. Far above Earth, in their silver ships, the harvesters felt a change coming. The neural energy they had captured was growing stronger, wilder, more dangerous. Earth's children were dreaming of freedom, of rescue, of victory. And dreams, as the harvesters were about to learn, could be the most powerful weapon of all. The rescue fleet lifted off at dawn. 500 ships rose from hidden bases around the world, their metal shells painted black to match the darkness of space. In the lead ship, Captain Tadawan Lee checked his team's equipment one last time. Remember, he told the soldiers, we're not just fighting for Earth today. We're fighting for every child the harvesters have ever taken. Behind him, in a special room filled with soft lights and comfortable chairs, sat 20 children. Jia Song walked between them, touching each child's hand, helping them connect their minds together. These children had all escaped from the harvesters before. They knew how to fight back. In his command center deep underground, Admiral Park watched the fleet's progress on giant screens. Beside him, Dr. Hei-yun Kim monitored the children's neural patterns. The harvester fleet is turning to face us, an officer reported. 300 ships, maybe more. Admiral Park pressed a button on his command chair. All ships protect the children at all costs. Everything depends on getting them close enough. The space above Earth turned into a battlefield. The harvester ships fired beams of silver energy, trying to stop Earth's fleet. But Earth's ships had special shields now, designed by scientists who had studied how the children's dreams hurt the harvesters. In Captain Lee's ship, Jaya stood up suddenly. They're scared, she said, her voice carrying the thoughts of all the children. The hungry ones can feel us coming. They know what we can do now. The ship shook as it dodged enemy fire. Through the windows, they could see the massive Harvester command ship. It was shaped like a giant silver flower, its petals made of metal and light. And inside it were hundreds of stolen children, trapped in glass containers. Now, Jaya, Hayden's voice came through the speakers. Show them what Earth's children can really do. Jaya sat down with the other children. They joined hands and closed their eyes. Then they began to sing, the same lullaby that had helped them before, but this time sung by thousands of voices. Every child on Earth was singing with them, their minds connected in one powerful dream. The effect was immediate. The Harvester ship's shields flickered and died. Their weapons went silent. But the children didn't stop there. The glass containers in the Harvester ships began to glow. The captured children inside were waking up, adding their voices to the song. Their neural energy, which the Harvesters had tried to contain and control, burst free like sunlight breaking through clouds. Captain Lee watched in amazement as the Harvester command ship systems overloaded. Explosions of silver light burst from its sides. All ships, move in. Get our children out of there. The rescue teams rushed forward, breaking into the Harvester ships while their defenses were down. They found the captured children already breaking free, their glass prisons shattered by the power of their combined dreams. In his command center, Admiral Park saw the Harvester fleet falling apart. Ships were either shutting down or trying to escape. The ones that ran were chased by trails of light, the neural energy of thousands of children, reaching out like fingers of lightning. They're not just defeating them, Hei-Yun whispered, watching her monitors. The children are teaching each other how to be strong, how to fight back. This isn't just Earth's victory anymore. The battle wasn't over, but everyone could feel the change. The Harvesters had come to feed on children's dreams. Instead, those dreams had become their nightmare. 1 month after the Great Battle, Yoon Suk Choi stood once again in the Galactic Council chamber. This time, he wasn't alone. Ji-Ah Song stood beside him, holding his hand. Behind them stood Admiral Park, Captain Lee, and Dr. Hei-Yun Kim. And on floating screens all around the chamber were the faces of thousands of children, not just from Earth, but from every world the Harvesters had attacked. The council members shifted uncomfortably in their seats. They had all seen the recordings of the battle. They had watched Earth's children break the Harvesters' power with nothing but dreams and songs. The Harvester Collective is gone, Yoon Suk announced. Their ships are destroyed or abandoned. Their leaders have vanished into deep space. He looked up at the 5 leaders. But that's not why we're here. Jaya stepped forward. Her voice was small but clear in the huge chamber. We found all the children they took, from every world. Some had been sleeping in glass boxes for years. But they're awake now. They remember their homes. The metal-skinned leader leaned forward. You freed them all. Yes, Dr. Hei-Yun said. And we learned something important. The Harvesters didn't just steal children. They stole dreams. They made whole worlds afraid to imagine, afraid to hope. They made you teach your children to think small thoughts, to dream quiet dreams. Captain Lee touched the sword at his side. But they couldn't do that to Earth. We didn't know we were supposed to be afraid. Our children dreamed big dreams, impossible dreams, and those dreams became our shield and our weapon. Admiral Park stepped forward. Earth's children taught the others how to dream again, how to break free. And now we're going to teach them how to stay free. Yoon Suk pulled out a data crystal and placed it in the center of the speaking circle. This contains plans for the neural shields we developed, for the dream amplifiers that let children connect and protect each other. We're giving them to everyone, free of charge. The council chamber burst into shocked whispers. The purple-skinned council member who had warned Earth stood up. You would share such powerful technology. Why? Jaya smiled. Because that's what Earth Stories taught us. When you save someone, You don't become their master. You become their friend. But there's one more thing, Yoomsuk said. His voice grew stern. Earth is establishing the Children's Guardian Force. Any world that wants to join us can. We will protect all children, everywhere, together. And if anyone ever tries to harm them again, they'll learn what we taught the harvesters, Admiral Park finished. That the dreams of children are the strongest force in the universe. As they left the council chamber, Jaya looked up at the stars through a huge window. Thanks to Earth's victory, children across the galaxy were dreaming again. Big dreams, brave dreams, dreams of adventures and heroes and hope. The harvesters had tried to feed on those dreams. Instead, the dreams had changed the galaxy forever, because Earth had taught everyone an important lesson. When you tell children to dream without limits, they might just save the universe. Ready to go home? Heiyun asked Jaya softly. Jaya nodded, still watching the stars. In her mind, she could feel children on countless worlds beginning to dream again. And in those dreams, they were all reaching for tomorrow.